Hello and welcome. It's great to have you visit my channel. I'm Salome Buari, and on this channel I share videos of great value on child education and parenting, soft skills, and phonics. Our growing leaders deserve the best. So, as teachers and parents, we need to keep learning to groom them just right. If this is in sync with you, do subscribe and remember to click the little bell thingy to turn post notifications on so you would be one of the first to know when I upload a new video. Much love and welcome. Every child is intelligent. This is something that my last video emphasized. We looked at the multiple intelligences identified by Howard Gardner. If you have not watched it, please pause. Watch it and then come back to watch this one. This is centered on one of the intelligences. And what I'm doing here is I'm getting icons of these different intelligences. We want to check what are the patterns. How were these icons raised? Is there a relationship between their childhood and their later lives? How did their parents or teachers help them? What are the activities they engaged in? Because a child has talents, and when he exhibits such, he's supposed to be helped. He's supposed to be given an enabling environment to help such to groom, to nurture that in it. So it's a great pain in my heart that many children do not get to find that specialty, that blessing that God has given to them specifically because of lack of attention and sensitivity from their parents and teachers. So we are here today to watch this video to learn about Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein is a great icon in the logical and mathematical intelligence. All right, let's get a peep into Albert Einstein's childhood. Albert Einstein only started speaking at the age of 3, but his not meeting that developmental milestone at the expected time had nothing to do with his genuinity. As a student, his results were not that impressive generally, except in math and science, and he used that ability in math and science to come top in his class. He had the ability to think in unique ways. He liked to think of other ways outside the norm, which made him seem rebellious sometimes. He preferred playing alone, constructing towers, with playing cards and using blocks to build complex structures. He loved puzzles. He read many books on mathematics. His mother introduced him to music, and he loved and learned to play Mozart and the violin. Music became an adventure for him to relax and receive ideas, as sometimes, while playing violin in the middle of the night, he would scream, "I've got it!" when the solution of one of the problems he had been thinking about came to his mind. He said, "If I were not a physicist, I would probably be a musician. I often think in music. I live my daydreams in music. I see my life in terms of music." Those were his words. One other major reference to his childhood is a gift his dad got for him when he was just 5, a compass. The thoughts of how the compass worked kept him as busy as a bee. He was thinking, what's that mysterious force that compelled the compass to point north? Later in his adult life, he referred to that compass as an instrument that really sparked off his curiosity to want to explain mysteries, to explain the unknown. In relation to this, my series, what kind of intelligence was he identified with as a child? Logical, mathematical intelligence and musical intelligence. You get that, right? From this Peep, we can point to some things from his childhood that were a pointer to his life and landmark achievements as the one who laid the foundation of modern physics and changed views on space, time, mass, and energy. Let's look at logical mathematical intelligence, the first of the 9 different intelligences identified by Howard Gardner, which is the most celebrated intelligence. Sometimes it looks like if someone doesn't have this logical and mathematical intelligence, the person is not intelligent at all. But it's not true. Some people are just more inclined to this kind of intelligence. And you can build it. You can develop it in children. Let's look at what it is and how we can develop and nurture the logical and mathematical intelligence in children. Logic is built on observation, says the chief of operations Center for Teaching and Learning Mathematics in the US, named Sanjay Raghav. The more you ask children questions like, how will that happen? The more likely you are to enable your child to think logically. Logical thinking is thinking in steps and using what is known to draw conclusions. You got that? It needs understanding and incorporating the rules of basic logical reference in everyday activities. Right from childhood, when a child is confronted with objects, or when a child confronts objects, ordering and reordering them, assessing their quantity, that child is gaining fundamental knowledge about logical mathematical realm. Right from infanthood, the child explores all manner of objects, nipples, rattles, mobiles, and cups, and he forms expectations about how these objects will behave under certain conditions, especially when you leave the children to explore free play. You give them what they are supposed to play with, but then you don't interrupt. You just give them the opportunity. You give them the mission to play. As they play, observe them. A child that has this kind of intelligence would explore some of these cause and effect operations. He loves operations. If you put this quantity, you get that quality. If you push this block here, this happens. If you turn this wheel, this happens. When you watch them do all of that, they're exploring operations. But if you do not give a child an opportunity to play and to explore his environment in that way, you never notice that thing in a child, that intelligence in a child. He compares, contrasts, adds same quantity or a different quantity, and watches out for results. Either on his own or with the help of an adult, he can improve his understanding of adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing, and start applying them in real life situations, from playing with cards or dice to computer games, or playing with marbles, and even buying things from stores. Even with water in the kitchen, he could do that. And then how about following cooking recipes? Yeah, it's a part of logical mathematical intelligence, because the child reasons. He's following the recipe and then he's saying, if I put this, I get this. What if I put more than this? All right, so that is logical reasoning. From doing the simple numerical calculations materially, that is, touching the items. You give a child blocks and he touches it and counts 1, 2, 3. When he touches it and counts like that, that is called manipulation, all right? And he can move from that material manipulation to internalizing these operations. When you tell a child, count in your mind. If you have 2 and you want to add 2 to this, what would you get? Count in your mind. You know, that you are introducing the child to internalization of these operations. At this stage, the child is encouraged to do more mental math, compare, add, and subtract, all in his mind. To improve this or to nurture this, ask children questions like this. If you add 2 to these blocks, what would you get? At first, he guesses. Then, he becomes certain as he engages more in such acts. In all these operations, in all these activities, you are introducing that child to rules. R-U-L-E-S. Rules. He thinks in his mind, the 3 I counted 5 minutes ago remains 3, not just because of the count, but because I have not added anything to it, neither have I subtracted anything. These are called concrete operations in the field of logic. logical necessity comes to attend these operations, the child is now dealing with necessary truths, not merely empirical discoveries. Now that you know a lot about logical and mathematical intelligence, and you have seen an icon in this intelligence, it is easy to nurture this in children. Easy to nurture this in children. First of all, you have to help them do away with that mentality that math is hard. It is not hard. As soon as they have that attitude, saying that math is difficult, math is hard, it already shuts their minds. It shuts their minds against wanting to learn it, wanting to understand it. So let them know that math is not hard by making it a daily learning experience for them. If they practice math 30 minutes a day in fun environment, in fun ways, it's going to help a lot. Make it a natural experience for them. Introduce math to them in the kitchen, on the playground, outside the house. Just bring it in. Do different things with them. Make it natural to them. Our next video is on linguistic intelligence. You don't want to miss that. Can you guess who our icon is? Stay tuned and please turn on the notifications so that you do not miss the next video. Thank you. Much love. Salome Buhari. Thank you so much for watching the video. I do hope you like, comment, and subscribe. Feel free to turn on the notification buttons and I'll see you in the next video.